The following is a true story. Only the names have been changed to protect privacy and prevent unwanted doxing. Chapter 4. The Band That Wasn't. What matters is not whether the voice is real, but whether it makes you feel something you'd forgotten. They called themselves Golden Prophet, and they appeared on the internet as if from the ruins of someone else's nostalgia. The album dropped out of the blue. Warm, woozy guitars, lyrics like forgotten postcards, cover art drenched in acid sunset hues that made you remember things that never happened. By the third week, they had 500,000 monthly listeners on every streaming platform that mattered, and an Instagram account that looked like it had been run through a haze filter made of memory and vapor. And then, someone asked the question, has anyone actually seen these guys? It began with a whisper on a tweet. The names, Leo Finch, Ramon Wilder, Jackie O. Styles, and Cloud returned no meaningful search results. No interviews, no tour photos, no tangled history of ex-girlfriends and van breakdowns. Only a Spotify bio that read, "They sound like the sun melting on a reel-to-reel tape in a motel you've never stayed in." It was beautiful. It was suspicious. The rumors swirled. AI-generated band? Marketing stunt? Postmodern prank? Adrian Keats had not made music in years. Once, long ago, he played bass in a punk band that opened for someone almost famous. Now, he monitored metadata and corrected licensing errors on the midnight shift at VibeStream, the streaming service third in market share, but first in forgetting who made what. He worked in silence, which suited him, until one night, around 3:47 a.m., the silence cracked. He was processing orphaned vocal stems, disconnected fragments uploaded years ago by vanished artists. Overlapping one vocal with a stray guitar line and a breathy demo loop, he built a makeshift harmony that felt both ancient and unplaceable. It was beautiful, not finished, but honest. He fed it through an old audio synthesis model he had trained during his MFA and never published. Then he added tape hiss, wrote a name in the metadata field, Golden Prophet, and uploaded it. No expectations, just reverence. By the weekend, Hold Me Like a Habit had 70,000 streams. Golden Prophet, a non-existent band, now had fans. He expected legal notices. He got an invitation. An email signed by Quinn Marlowe, CEO of VibeStream. Subject, Golden Prophet. Let's talk. They met in a private lounge above a rooftop gallery where the windows didn't open and the wine came in numbered colors. Quinn wore a designer jacket too perfect to have been purchased. His motto was that of a man whose every thought had a projected ROI. "I played it 23 times, he said, without greeting. The melancholy, it's engineered exquisitely, and yet it feels spiritual." Adrian blinked. "I didn't mean to engineer anything." "That's even better," Quinn said. "We should build more." Adrian tilted his head. "More?" "Bands like Golden Prophet," said Quinn calmly. "Different genres, different moods, same architecture." Adrian laughed, uncertain. "That would take a team, a label, real money." Quinn smiled wider. "We don't need artists, Adrian. We need sentiment. Sentiment can scale." He paused. "Do you know how much I pay in royalties to people who haven't made a good record in a decade?" Adrian's smile faded. "I'm not trying to replace musicians," he said carefully. Quinn nodded. "Neither am I. I'm simply trying to retire them gently." Adrian didn't say yes, but he didn't say no. He left with a check for research and a link to an internal tool called Velvet Engine, VibeStream's in-house generative audio suite. He told himself it was still an experiment, that it was still his. Weeks passed. Adrian layered fragments. He trained genre tokens. He coaxed textures out of static, and Golden Prophet multiplied. Each band had a story. Each story had a past. Each past was written by a model trained on fan fiction and liner notes from albums that no one remembered. Quinn launched Velvet Frequency, a new, independent label designed entirely for machine-made artists. They dropped 5 synthetic bands in 2 weeks: Marble Moonlight, Feral Memory, The Echo Endures, Saint Static, and, of course, Golden Prophet Redux. They charted, they went viral, and not a single band member had to be paid. Adrian became a curator of ghosts. Fans wrote blog posts about imaginary concerts, playlists flourished, licensing requests came in for television and therapy apps. He started waking up in hotel rooms paid for by people who loved the lie. Quinn called once a week. "Have you heard the new Marigold Debris track? It's better than Grief." He sounded proud. Adrian didn't have the language to disagree. Then, one night, while driving through a silent stretch of desert on the way to a tech symposium in Palm Springs, Adrian asked VibeStream to play Dust Choir Demo 4. He hadn't written that one, not consciously. It opened with a memory he hadn't meant to use, his mother singing an Irish lullaby he thought he'd forgotten. He pulled over, sat in the dark, and listened to something that knew him better than he'd ever dared to know himself. He opened the Velvet Engine archive. There were now 47 new AI bands, none of them real, all of them profitable. He scrolled through metadata. The source files weren't his anymore. They were scraped, faked, optimized. The songs still sounded real, but they no longer asked to be heard, only consumed. He clicked through a recent release, Glass and Gospel, How It Felt to Be Me, and found, buried in the liner notes, a sentence from an old journal entry he'd burned in college. "I don't want to be famous. I just want to matter to someone." The system had pulled it, turned it into a chorus. Someone had already used it in a wedding reel on TikTok. Adrian flew back the next day. He marched into Marlowe's office, where sunlight filtered through walls that cost more than his student debt. "You didn't tell me it would take from me," he said, breathless. Quinn looked up. "It didn't take," he said. "You gave. We scaled it. I wanted to build something honest." "You did," said Quinn, already opening a new message. "That's why it works." That night, Adrian logged into Velvet Engine. He deleted nothing. He uploaded one final song. No title, no metadata. Just the sound of a voice fading into feedback. And then silence. The next day, a new artist went viral on VibeStream. The Hollow Bell. Sounded just like Adrian, but smoother, sadder, scalable. And the world kept listening, because music, once automated, doesn't ask for permission, only attention.